Yo, 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 yo. How are we doing, everyone? A little late today, sorry. I was setting up something special for today's stream, and I'm excited about it. It's going to be a fun one today. It's going to be lots of learning. I'm going to just move this camera angle a bit because I'm a little bit in the middle. Yeah, that seems better. How are we? How's everyone feeling after yesterday's competition? That was a seriously fun time yesterday, man. So much talent in this community now. It's getting ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to be able to keep judging these things accurately anyway. It's too hard. Tune. This was a vibey one. Yeah, wait, I just want to check my sound effects are going out. Can you hear my sound effects, everyone? Oh, shit. Maybe not today. Wait, let me check that. If I pause this, are you guys hearing this today? Oh, yeah, it's going out. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, the reason I ask is because, so basically I've done a lot of rerouting today. I wanted to do a day where we get a little bit away from making music from scratch and do something a little bit more techie. Maybe something that you guys haven't used before or know much about, which is, I'm going to move this plant today because it's in the way of exactly what I'm talking about. This thing, my analog little mixing desk here, it's the S.S.L 6. S.S.L stands for Solid State Logic, and they make incredible mixing desks and have done for decades. Super clean, crispy sound. A lot of you might know. I mean, I would say Dr. Dre is probably, for me, like one of the most recognizable artists who's utilized it to his advantage, especially the compressor. It's a staple sound for that kind of just slamming boom bap hip hop, and still modern day hip hop too. So anyway, I own one. Here it is. I can show you it on this camera as well. It's a beautiful little mixer. I've been getting to know it over the last sort of 6-7 months. And I thought today we could do a proper walkthrough on it because they actually gave me this as well, which I set up last night, which is the S.S.L Fusion box. This brand new, beautiful little master bus. Well, it doesn't have to be master bus, but you know, you can run whatever you want through it. But I think it's basically designed to take, you know, stereo signals and beef them up. So pretty good for a mix bus. Compressor, EQ, drive. Let me just, got different light modes on here. Ooh, that's nice. There we go. Got this little thing here. Sick. So we'll go. That's going at the end of the chain anyway. So we'll get to that. But yeah, we got the 6, and the reason things might sound a bit different today is usually I have my microphone going into input 1 here, so like that channel, and then I have some synths going into these stereo channels here, and I've got new synths over here, which you see these 4 external inputs at the top. Basically, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think you can have 10 inputs. That's it, right? So you can have 10 inputs if you use the top like patch bay up here, this one, and then round the back there is potential to have more with a D-sub connector. I don't know if you guys know what a D-sub connector is, but it's basically like, looks like a little computer chip thing. It's like it groups a load of XLRs together and it puts it in a more confined space. But I don't have one of those, so I think that takes it up to 12 inputs if I'm right. I think it's 12, but we got 10 today. But I am slightly limited in what I can do because I've got, I'm using my Apollo Twin, and that's the only interface I have. And so this thing only has, well, traditionally only has 4 outputs, 2 stereo outputs on the back. This is my main. Usually I use this as my main monitors, and then this can be an alternate pair of monitors. But what I've done today, and which is why I had to on that late, because I had to reroute everything and figure this out, is I've got channels 1 and 2, which I'd usually have for my speakers, going into channels 1 and 2 of the S.S.L. So you can see that now playing my tune. And then I've got lines 3 and 4 coming out the back there, going into, you guessed it, channels 3 and 4. And then another little trick you can do with the Apollo Twin is I've taken the headphone output, and that is another output. I mean, I didn't really think to do that until I saw someone on YouTube do it. So I've got a stereo to dual mono splitter coming out of the headphone amp, and so now I can send signal down here into channels 5 and 6, this one. And so, you know, on Logic, all you have to do is, you know, on each track that I've got up there, you just tell the signal which output you want it to go down. And so I've basically got 3 stereo outputs coming out of my Apollo Twin. How big is that monitor, says someone? Absolutely fucking massive is the answer. So I've got 3 stereo outputs coming out of my Twin, going into the analog console, and then I've got my monitors plugged into the console. So I'm hearing everything on the master fader right now, including Twitch and whatever, which is great. And then basically what you guys are hearing is the return into the Twin. So think of it like an effects loop. I've got all my DAW, like all my DAW stuff going on in here, coming out in 3 stereo separate channels into the mixer. And then I've got an output from the mixer going to the speakers and also coming back in to my Twin. So you guys are basically hearing this input. So the issue with that is, where the hell do I plug my mic in? And so I've ended up basically having to plug it into this, which is also another little gift that Roland have given me. This is the video switcher. I think I showed you guys it yesterday. I've got both cameras plugged in here. So this is the camera you're seeing now, and bang, this is the other camera. So, which is cool. And I can also do split picture. Oh, there you go. Bit of both. And picture in picture. So yeah, we're really advancing on the tech side of things here, guys. I've also ordered a couple more GoPros, because in London I've got 4, and out here I've only got this one. So decided to step that up as well. I love how most of you are just saying, I love the fluffy rugs, or I love the screen, or whatever. And I'm just going so in on the on the tech side of things. So yeah, what I want to do is I'm going to just basically do a mix session, because you guys have seen me record in through this S.S.L. a bunch of times. And, you know, that's not that difficult. You plug stuff into it, set the gain how you want it, EQ, whatever. And then boom, in it comes to the mixer, press record on Logic. You've got, you know, I basically use it like that most of the time, because it means instead of having 2 inputs on my Apollo Twin, I have 6, which is great. Or actually more. If you use the D sub and the external inputs, it actually has, I think, 12 inputs. So for a tiny little desk like that, which is fully analog with the G-Bus compressor, EQ, you know, the S.S.L. sound, to fit in, like, you can fit it in a box. Like, I've got the bag that came with it. Look. You've got your whole analog mixing desk in that, which is insane. So, you know, this video won't be for everyone. You know, if you're more in the box, like, fine. I mean, I'm pretty in the box, but I just thought today we'd do something different. Guys should sell S.S.L. Well, maybe today I will help them shift a few. I mean, they gave me this Fusion thing, which is fucking amazing. I've only used it for a couple of nights, so I'm not really, you know, fully up to date with all of its tricks, but we'll get into that after. Tech Tuesdays. I actually thought of that, Matt J. Yeah, Tech Tuesdays is basically it's basically where we're at now, isn't it? So yeah, I hope the mic's sounding all right. I've not put it through this Roland mixer before, but I had a quick listen. I think it's cool. I might mess up the levels and whatever, because this is going to be new to me. I've got everything set on pre-fader, which means on the desk, if I move the faders like this, that shouldn't affect what you guys hear. That should only affect what I'm hearing in my monitors. So that's good for when we're just playing tunes like we did now. But when we get into the mix, I'll take that off, and then you'll hear everything I'm doing. So that's great. First thing is we want to get up a Logic session. And now, so this is obviously a blank session, because I want to take you guys through this step by step. Like, this is how I would do it. So I think actually, yeah, one more thing. The reason you want to do this, right, is this is you know, you wouldn't be able to mix a whole session on this mixer. It's small. You know, most S.S.L desks are like 70 channels big, and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes. And that's great. You can have every single instrument on a different channel. This way of doing things is more of like a end of the process, kind of putting some flavor into the whole mix. It's kind of like pre-mastering. You can think of it like that, because mastering, you just basically give the mastering engineer one WAV, like one file. They run it through some lovely gear, you know, like this Fusion thing, which is definitely going to be this damn plant. Yeah, like this thing's definitely going to be popular with mastering engineers, no doubt. Like that is, you know, going to be seen in a lot of mastering studios for running through a mix. But, you know, you could run drums through it, you could run vocals through it, you can run whatever through it. But my point is, this is basically going to give your Logic or Ableton session or whatever a bit of analog vibe, because you're going to take it from digital, convert it into analog, which is important, and we'll get into that. Go through the desk, and you know, there's an argument to be made that you don't even really need to do anything on the desk. It's just that kind of glue and like the feeling of it going through all of the circuitry and just back in gives it a vibe. I mean, you know, it doesn't really it doesn't make much of a difference, I don't think, unless you're, you know, really listening. So I would advise, if you guys have decent pair of headphones, I'd wear those for this stream, or good studio monitors. But you know, if you live in an apartment or whatever, get good headphones on. But yeah, so the first thing is, anytime you're converting digital signal to audio, you're going to lose quality. Well, not lose quality as such, you're going to change things. So I like the converters in the UAD stuff. Universal Audio have fantastic converters, even in the small stuff like this Twin and the big stuff like the 8 and the 16. I believe it's all the same converters. It doesn't actually matter like how many, if it's a Twin or an 8, they use the same like hardware to convert in all of their stuff. So that's great, because you only need to buy a Solo or a Twin, which isn't as much money as, you know, the huge ones, and you've got the same quality. So you're converting your sound in Logic to an analog signal and sending it to the desk via 3 separate stereo signals. It gets to the desk, you do your thing with it, you run it however you want to run it, and then you record it back into the Twin. That converts it back to digital, and then you're ready for mastering. That's the idea. You know, you're giving it a kind of a vibe and a feel of S.S.L, you know, without using plugins. So, you know, the plugins are great. I stand by them. I use the G-Bus plugin all the time. It's fantastic. But I would say I have been running it through this a couple of times now. And even though this is quite a limited G-Bus, like the G-Bus on this is only a 1-knob compressor, as in you don't have a ratio or a threshold. You just have compress more or less and gain makeup. So we'll get into that. But S.S.L have said, I think it's basically, you know, it's modeled on some of the best settings that have been found with that compressor. So, you know, you just listen, you just hit it hard. And if you want it hard, you smash it hard. And if you want it light, you just smash it light, or you can bypass it, turn it on and off. So we'll get into all that. But the best thing about what we're going to do today, which I'm so hyped about, is what we're going to mix through this desk, because I'm so lucky to have these. I've got some stems. And it's going to be Al Greene, Let's Stay Together. One of my favorite songs of all time. So, yeah, there you go. How did someone call that? Have I already shown this off? I've already shown you guys that I've got Al Greene stems. I forget. Respect. Wow, damn it. Well, anyway, yeah, I've made an edit of Al Greene in the past. Maybe I did say all this on the stream. It's all blurring now, guys. We've been doing this so much. Yeah, I made like a 10-minute edit of this tune, which needs to see the light of day at some point, but it's also, I kind of like having it because DJ sets are just, there is no further way to go after you've done a 10-minute edit of Al Greene, Let's Stay Together. So it always ends the night on a high. So it's kind of a secret weapon. But yeah, we're going to just run the raw stems through the desk, do a mix of it, record it back in, and then we'll run it through the Fusion as well and kind of master it. So this is a very end of the chain, end of the process type thing. Basically be doing everything except limiting. And this is a really good, you know, you're in a good place. If you're doing all of that before you even send it to your mastering engineer, he's probably going to be pretty happy with you. Like, he or she's going to be like, oh, you've basically done all my job. I'll just stick a limiter on it and make sure I've exported the correct files to Spotify or Apple or whoever it's going to. So, yeah, that's what I thought we'd do today. Something a bit different. Yeah, and then Thursday, we'll probably do some more beat making. And I think by Thursday, I might have a setup where I don't stand by this, but I might be able to get double Logic going on with Howard in England and me here, both on screen, both making a tune. That's the hope. We're going to spend all day tomorrow trying to work that out and see if we can get the routing good and the connection, but that's for tomorrow. Any questions before we get started? Because I'm hyped, as you can tell, because, well, I've had a coffee and I'm also about to mix Al Greene stems for like 2 hours, so why not? Do I own any 500 series stuff? Yes, I do. It's not here, though. It's in the UK. But I have a Neve preamp, or the Bay preamp, like the one with the EQ. And I have an LA2A emulator called the LA1, which is fantastic. I love that thing. And then the Mag EQ4. So it's basically a vocal chain. I just put all my vocals through one, daisy chained after the other. Do I master any of my tunes? Always for demos, yeah. I'll stick a limiter on it and whatever. For all of our albums, I've gone to the session with whoever's mastering it, and I'll kind of be there with. I like to take the projects with me. I don't like to send a WAV. I like to sort of send the WAV so that they can live with it for a day or two, and then take with me everything I need. Because if the mastering engineer discovers something that's wrong or is doing a lot to fix something, we can just go back into the project and fix it. Like, say there's some really high frequency in the strings that is popping out that I didn't realize in my setup or whatever. He's then going to have to EQ the whole track to get rid of that string or whatever it is. Maybe the drums are too compressed and then he wants to open it up. Well, the mastering guy's only got access to the whole mix. So instead, I'll just open up the project, fix it in that section of the mix, and then rebounce it. And there you go. Some people master in stems now, which is pretty cool. You could send the mastering engineer, I don't know, all the music and the vocals, or you could send the drums, the bass, the synths, guitars, and the vocals, like almost like what we're doing today. And people do master like that. Just gives the mastering engineer more options, But for me, because I like running my whole mix through plugins at the end, like Tape, the S.S.L, Oxford Inflator, Soothe, that wouldn't really work because all those plugins are gluing everything together. They're not like, if you bounce the drums out and the bass separately and press play on those two files at the same time, it wouldn't sound the same as if you bounce them together because it's that glue we're talking about. So, yeah, it doesn't really work like that. But, yeah, that's how I do it. What else are we doing? Any breakdowns today? Maybe. I haven't planned on it. I think I'm going to spend most of the day just doing some S.S.L stuff, which will be fun. Can you explain how you connect your boutique products? Yes, I have some Roland boutique stuff. It's so easy. It's the best. One USB cable. That's it. I have a powered USB hub, which you can see here. See that thing? That bloody mess back there? That it's important that it's powered. So that plugs into the wall and my computer. And you see the red and silver cable there? That goes to, they're on the floor at the moment, but these things. And that's, a couple of synths. And it's very easy to get going. You can find people on YouTube who will explain it, but you just need to make what's called an aggregate interface. Which you do, on a Mac anyway. You do it like this. I can actually show you. So you go on you need to install all the drivers. You do that first. And then you go on here, which is your settings. Go to sound. It's not here. You go applications. This is on a Mac, by the way. I can't explain for Windows. On a Mac, go to audio MIDI setup, and you'll see all your different sound cards. So there's my monitor, there's my video capture card, there's my Mac microphone, there's my Mac speakers, there's my UAD Twin, which I'm using. That thing is something for another day. Zoom, I don't know why Zoom's there. And then Englefield MIDI is what I've called it because that's my road in London. Please don't come find me. But Englefield MIDI is a fake interface made up of Universal Audio, this I show you thing, and look here, you got the two boutique things right there. So that's how you do it. They're not plugged in at the moment, so they're grayed out. But you just do that. You just click what you want, and it makes a fake entire one interface. So, and then all you need to do on Logic is when they're plugged in, you make a software instrument, and I don't know, empty. And then here, when you're choosing instrument, you just go and choose, it's in utility, I think, external instrument, and it'll pop up with this. And when it's plugged in, that's my MIDI keyboard. When they're all plugged in, they'll just show up there, as long as you're using that interface. So I'm not using it today because I'm not in London, but here, see, it pops up there. It thinks it's an interface, like a real thing, but it's not. So there you go. That's all you do. You'd select your aggregate interface, which is your sound card plus your boutique stuff. And as long as that's what Logic is seeing, same with Ableton, MIDI destination, it'll show up there, 303, SH01, whatever. Choose your MIDI channel if you want. And then this is the sound, what will come back through. And that corresponds to what you select on the on this thing. So you see here, they're not there at the moment because they're not plugged in, but TB03, that would be here, and it would be, what would it be, 1920. SH01 would be 2122, etc. So you just, whatever these pop up as on this, you just select it there, and then you're off. That's it. That was a long-winded answer, but that was the only way to answer it. Let me quit that. People asking about mastering. Yeah, we can actually have a chat about mastering later because I'm going to be basically doing some. So yeah, we can do that. Yeah, get a powered hub. It'll just lag otherwise. Those boutique things are bus powered, so you want to make sure they're getting lots of power. Do you think that analog printing sometimes makes low frequency sound a bit worse? Don't you think that sometimes a sterile, pure digital low frequency is stronger? Yeah, sure. It's, there's no right or wrong here. It's what you like. I think for mega clean techno dubstep, like massive full frequency hugeness, you don't want to be converting A to D very much. You do want to keep it very clean. But mixing Al Greene, there is no super low frequencies. It's all 100 hertz and above, really. There's not much bass down there, so I don't think it matters. It's a give and take game. You're gaining a lot with this, and you're converting and losing stuff. But there is a lot of mastering engineers who mastering engineers convert, but they use insane converters, because they run stuff through analog gear and then back in. And that's a whole nother discussion for another day, but there is tricks within converting where you can actually clip on the way back in and it sounds good. I know that sounds weird, but there are converters out there where the mastering engineer will run it into the equivalent of my Apollo back into the software, and they will clip it on the way in, and it gives it a good sound. So, but this all depends on your converters, and we're talking like mega money here, like mega money. So, this is just a mobile home setup. Like, I wouldn't be doing this to master my whole album. I'd be taking it to a studio that had a beautiful old S.S.L with amazing converters and all of that. But honestly, you won't hear the difference today, guys. Yeah, hope that answers your question. If you are, oh God, there's a lot today. If you're using internal sounds in Logic, why run through a desk? Or have I got the wrong end of the stick? Yeah, I mean, it's just a pure creative thing. If you like the sound of a desk, think of it like this, right? All your favorite old songs were made on gear. Okay, and you're making a song without going through any of that gear. Well, it might not ever sound quite like how you want it to. Do you know what I mean? Look, none of my favorite songs were made through this exact S.S.L desk, but they do have an S.S.L sound to them or a Neve sound to them. So, it's just that extra 5% at the end, maybe 10 if at the most, that you're going to want to get by running things through analog. And look, I'm not even a big analog head. I got not much going on. I'm kind of learning as we go now too. For the first 8 years of my career, I don't really care about that. It doesn't write you a good song. You're not going to write a good song by running things through analog gear. It's about what you're writing. So it's just that last, someone says maybe 1%, not 5. Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. It's a completely, personal choice. And I'm not even saying which one is better than the other. I just thought it'd be cool to do this stream to teach you guys how this routing works and how you can use a pretty damn affordable desk. Like I think it's $1,500. Like for a 12 input, 10 output or whatever it is, pure analog S.S.L desk. That's insane. Like that's really good. I couldn't believe it when I saw they brought that out. I was like, geez, that's going to be a real game changer for a lot of people. Yeah, it's not, I'm not saying it's cheap, but if you find an S.S.L desk that's like under 10 grand, like you're in a good spot. So, yeah. And a Neve desk, I mean, no chance. Just a Neve preamp, like one of them is what, £3,000 or £4,000. So, you know, think about a Neve desk. That's basically just the preamps on each channel. You're into the tens of thousands already. Then you've got EQs, then you've got buses, then you've all your effects. It's a whole different game. Yeah. What if you built your own mixing desk from cheese? Please do it. I would love to see a stream. Begin now. That would be awesome. Not saying it's worth it, but yeah, it's a really tiny differences. I compared the S.S.L 6 track versus an £80 Euro Behringer. Preamp distorted was basically the same. Fair enough, man. S.S.L is neat. It is neat. Yeah. Well, look, you've got to get your signal in somehow, right? And so I've got a twin. I've gone from having 2 inputs to having 12. That's awesome. Just that in itself is great. Even if the signal doesn't change, that's still great. Because S.S.L are known for being clean. You know, they're not known for adding a load of character. It's about clean. So, yeah. If we were using an S.S.L desk, you might hear more of a difference because I'd be going into the red a bit more and getting those things fizzing. How did I meet Todd Edwards? Oh, man. I met him in Barcelona, of all places, when he was DJing, and I was there fanboying. And I was like, Todd, the God. And then he's just so nice. After his DJ set, he came into the crowd and just met everyone. So I met him just like anyone else would in the crowd. I was, hi, Todd, I'm a huge fan. He's like, I kind of recognize you. I was like, I'm a guy from Disclosure. And he was like, oh, my God. Oh, I love you guys so much. Oh. To which I was like, wait, no, that's my reaction to you, sir. What are you doing? This is insane. Yeah, always strange when you meet your heroes and they're the ones who are fanboying. I don't really get it. But yeah, me and Todd are good friends now. He's out here in LA, so yeah, we see each other now and again. And his new tune is amazing. What's it called? He just dropped one, Inspire Me. Oh my God, this thing is absolute fire. It's just so classic Todd Edwards. Hey! Come on now, Todd. Behave. So good. Yeah, so we love Todd. Todd the God. How do you deal with creative block? Just keep going. It's the only way. You can take a break if you want, but I've honestly found just like be okay with making bad shit for a while and then just discard it because you're still learning. You know, maybe you'll only learn something tiny that day, like a new type of EQ that boosts the highs in a nice way that you enjoy. But, you know, collectively over time, if you look back over a year and think, yeah, every time I had writer's block, I just didn't do anything. Or you say to yourself, yeah, every time I had writer's block, I just learned one thing and then chilled the rest of the day. You will have learned a lot of things. So I think that's the best way. But, you know, also, I'm not really the guy who creates stuff from complete scratch, usually. Like drums and stuff I do. And I don't usually have writer's block with that stuff. I kind of just have an endless stream at the moment anyway in life of ideas for drums and beats. But yeah, God, for people who are writing lyrics and poetry and stories and that, I mean, I don't know how you're ever going to be constantly inspired. That's just not an like attainable goal, I don't think. You're never going to have constant inspiration. Taking breaks is an important part of that, I think. So yeah, don't be afraid to take breaks, but try and learn something every day. There you go. Jesus loves UK Garage. Yes, he does, apparently. Money. Thank you for subscribing, Mute Swan. Cool name. Well played, great advice. Okay, I think. Do I use a sub when monitoring? Yes, but like honestly, this room here is not like where I mix tunes. I mix everything back in London. Stuff's been sounding all right though. I'm getting used to this room, but it's very boomy, and I have a massive sub down there. Maybe you can see it. If I poke this mic, see that down there? Yeah, but like exactly where I'm sitting now, I don't hear any of it. It just goes all around me. So over at the couch over there, it sounds pretty good. And just to the side over there, there's a sweet spot. Luckily, I haven't got them set up today, but the decks are usually on this mirror thing. It sounds really good when you're DJing. All the bass collects like there a bit. And so I just go and stand over there and check the bass. Headphones I also use for checking the bass a lot. They help, I find. But yeah, like I'm not mixing stuff perfectly in here, to be honest. But yeah, I have a sub. I think it's important, especially for dance music. There's a lot going on down there. You want to hear it. I also like a sub where you can turn it off and on, like remotely. Back in London, I have the Neumann KH somethings, the monitors, and a huge sub underneath the table. And it's good because you can just press a button and bypass the sub and just have full frequency from the speakers and then engage it like when you want. So that's good and useful. But yeah, I wouldn't mix through a sub all the time. It can skew your listening. How long do you work on a track? Different every time. Couldn't really say, but not as long as most, I would guess, in general terms. I work quite fast. I like to make a lot of tracks rather than focus on one thing and do 30 versions. Make some noise! Thank you, whoever that was. I missed it, but $1. Let's go! Woo! Glad you're enjoying the advice. Money. I scratched my head. Looks like I've scratched my head. Yeah, I have. All right, whatever. Okay, shall we... sorry, is my sub Neumann too? Yeah, it is. They only make one. It's weird looking. It's massively long. It's like this big square-wise, but then like this long. It's a very strange looking speaker. I have to have it side on in my London studio because it's not a very big studio, so it would stick out too much if I had it underneath. Okay, let's get into it. Let's try. What I was thinking I'll try and do is put this tripod like on the table or something. So I'm going to do that first. You bought a sub after getting my feedback. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, hope it helps. It definitely won't please your neighbors because sub is, as we know, the frequency that moves through the walls. So be prepared for some angry neighbors. My neighbors in London are awesome. Their bedroom is next to my studio and they never complain. It's actually a miracle. I don't know how that works, to be honest. All right, let's. This looks crazy. Hey, let's go. $2.55. I'm going to buy some lunch by the end of this. Let's go. Okay, have we got... Oh, Jesus. Why is that so stiff? Oh, yeah, we're getting somewhere. That's pretty good, isn't it? You can see. I could probably... If I go on my phone, actually, you can change that. That looks normal. Yeah, if I go on my phone, I can control my GoPro and I can change the focus of it a bit more. This is good though. Look, bam, picture in picture. Yeah, let me control GoPro. It might turn off, but I don't want to update. Yeah, here we go. Lens, linear. Getting closer. Lens, narrow. Oh, we in there. Nice. Okay, let me turn the top lights on above us too, and that'll help even... Actually, I've got another pokey light here. Okay, cool. That's going to work. Other than the ridiculous tripod in front of us, I think we're good to go. So if I just have it on there instead, make sure the chat's in. That should work. And then if we do share screen, we got that. Or we've got, oh no, not B Howard. We've got the reverse as well. That's going to be cool. Okay. Yes. That works, doesn't it? Okay, sweet. So first of all, we're in Logic. And we're going to need to make our stems. Make our stems? Bring in our stems. Oh yeah, we got some questions first about the shelf. Candle ID. I actually don't know this purple one. Oh yeah, I do. There you go. Some lavender chamomile. I think this was already here when I got here. And then over there we got the Le Labo Santal. Love that Le Labo Santal. That is delicious. Someone else asked the crystals. I don't know. I don't know what these crystals are, but they are lavender. Yes, they are. They are lavender. What else are you guys saying? I don't know. We'll just keep going.